Imagine waking up every day with a sense of purpose, crystal clear, not swayed by setbacks, unfazed by the chaos surrounding you, and focused relentlessly on what truly matters. It sounds almost superhuman, doesn't it? Yet this was the everyday reality for one of ancient history's most powerful men, Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor and a Stoic philosopher. A collection that has survived millennia. His personal notes aren't just musings of a bygone era, but startlingly relevant advice on how to harness self-discipline's power amidst the noise of life today. We're diving deep into the heart of Stoicism, exploring its principles not as abstract concepts, but as tools, practical for living a life more disciplined and fulfilled. Stoicism teaches us how, into advantage, to turn adversity, turmoil emotional into tranquility, and life's unpredictability into strength, a wellspring of it. Whether you're seeking inner peace, struggling with daily stresses, or looking to elevate your productivity, understanding the Stoic way of life offers insights profound. In a world brimming with distractions endless and gratifications instant, the Stoic philosophy grounds us in moderation, justice, courage, and the virtues of wisdom. It's about more than enduring life. It's about thriving in it, no matter what comes your way. So, if ready you are to transform how life's challenges you view and handle, stay tuned as the teachings, powerful and life-altering, of Marcus Aurelius we unpack, and how they can be applied to cultivate a robust and disciplined life today. As we embark on through Stoic philosophy, this journey and the teachings, profound, of Marcus Aurelius, if what we're doing here you appreciate, a favor, simple and free, I'll ask from you is to hit the subscribe button. Also, of the video, no part skip, because if you're here from the majority, you are different. So an exception yourself consider, and for the insights unique, stay tuned, we'll explore together. Number 1, with finding your purpose, self-discipline starts. At the heart of philosophy, Aurelius's Marcus, is the belief that with finding your purpose, self-discipline begins. But to really find your purpose, what does it mean? It's about discovering what truly to you matters, at your core what drives you, and with that deeper calling, your daily actions aligning. Marcus Aurelius wrote often about living in agreement with nature, which, in terms Stoic, means your role in the larger scheme of things, understanding, and with your virtues, acting in harmony. For Aurelius, a lofty ideal, a purpose wasn't just but a compass practical that guided his every decision, from the mundane to the monumental. He believed that one's purpose is what understanding pushes you out of bed in the morning to face the day's challenges ready. It's what keeps you steadfast when to stray temptations beckon you. And it's not about external accolades or achievements grandiose, but about fulfilling the duties that for you life has laid out, each task with integrity and commitment performing. In a context modern, to find your purpose can often feel overwhelming. We live in a world with distractions and choices saturated that can, from our true paths, us lead away. Where Stoic wisdom is not just helpful, but essential, here is. To peel back the layers superficial of desires and emotions, fleeting to reveal what is truly essential for our growth and well-being, Stoicism teaches us. It encourages us to ask ourselves, my time and energy, what is truly worth? To the greater good and to my development personal, how can my actions today contribute? As we explore this principle in our lives to apply how, where you find deep satisfaction, to what you are drawn naturally, think about, or what challenges to solve you are motivated, to your purpose, these are clues. And once identified, the Stoic practice of reflection daily becomes invaluable. By aligning your actions with your purpose continuously, to what doesn't serve you, saying no and yes to what does, to live a life impactful and meaningful, the self-discipline you cultivate necessary. Let's take this insight from Marcus Aurelius and apply it daily. What am I meant to do today? Each morning ask yourself, to my purpose have I lived true? And each evening, over time, self-discipline, this practice will build not only but into a more journey-fulfilling and purposeful your life transform. Number 2, on your self-count. When Marcus Aurelius about self-discipline wrote, a theme recurring in his reflections was the importance of relying on oneself. Count on yourself is not just about self-reliance, but an integral part of the Stoic philosophy, which personal accountability and the importance of independence emphasizes. This isn't about assistance from others rejecting or isolation. Rather, it's about recognizing that for our actions, reactions, and growth, personal, the ultimate responsibility rests within us. In Stoicism, paramount is the idea of focusing on what is within our control. Aurelius often discussed the self's power in confronting whatever challenges our way life throws. By counting on ourselves into our resilience, inner and strength we tap. This principle in our abilities to trust, to navigate through and adversities, uncertainties life's teaches us. It's about confidence building, not through arrogance, but competence through and an understanding thorough of one's own virtues and capacities. Liberating. This self-reliance is, but in today's world, interconnected, also daunting, where advice and opinions constantly at our fingertips are. To listen to our voice, inner learning can be challenging. However, the noise to filter out and to trust in our reason, judgments, Stoicism teaches us. Aurelius believed that this guidance internal was the most counsel reliable one could have, because in reason and virtue it is rooted. By counting on ourselves, autonomy in our decision-making processes we also develop. It enables us to make choices that with our values and principles are aligned, rather than by pressures external being swayed or emotions temporary. This autonomy is crucial for integrity, personal maintaining, and for living a life that to oneself is true. So to truly on ourselves count, how can we start? With small steps, it begins. Commitments making and keeping them, personal goals setting and towards them working independently, and to reflect on our decisions and their alignments with our values, core time taking. Over time, more resilient and grounded in the of challenges life's face making us, our self-discipline these practices strengthen. Number 3, every day show up. Marcus Aurelius consistently emphasized the power of persistence, of upshowing not just in body, but in spirit, every single day. This practice is not about efforts monumental, unleashed sporadically, but about the dedication, quiet and steady, to tasks daily, which a life disciplined collectively forge. For Aurelius, with the Stoic idea of living in accordance with nature, showing up every day was synonymous. To him, to exist nature demanded of us not just, but to participate in life actively through our actions to the world, to contribute, no matter how routine or small they might seem. As a new arena, not for battles grand, each day presented itself, but for one's commitment to their duties and principles proving. It's in the consistency, the effort every day, where character is built and tested. In today's world, where many distractions are and can be fleeting motivations, the idea of up every day showing even more significance gains. It's easy to feel inspired one day and the next completely off track. Here, of consistency, the value Stoicism teaches us. It's not the intensity, but the regularity of our actions that true discipline cultivates. This doesn't mean that a masterpiece of productivity every day needs to be. Rather, it's about not letting slip by a day unnoticed or unutilized. Whether it's our health improving, in our career advancing, or our relationships deepening, in any area progress requires the commitment, simple, often overlooked, to show up every day. Moreover, with the Stoic practice of mindfulness, showing up every day is deeply intertwined in the now being present and today's work, doing today, without the burdens of failures yesterday's or worries tomorrow's. Marcus Aurelius, about focusing on the present, wrote extensively about doing to the best of ability one's the task at hand. This focus is what effort into improvement and routine into ritual turns. To cultivate this discipline, start small. What up showing for you means decide. It could be as simple as writing a single paragraph of that book you've been to write, meaning doing a 5-minute workout, or with a loved one 10 uninterrupted minutes spending. The scale is not what us transforms. It's the of showing up itself act each day that our willpower we reinforce, and the resilience that Stoic philosophy defines build. By this practice, daily adopting, in responsibility personal and improvement self-continuous, the Stoic belief you embody, that while the outcomes we may not control, our efforts we can control, you become a testament living to the idea, in the act consistent of upshowing, to lead a life fulfilling and purposeful, the discipline necessary we find. Number 4. Hardship voluntary practice. Strongly by Marcus Aurelius advocated, this Stoic practice is about much more than just life making intentionally difficult. It's about for the unpredictabilities of life oneself preparing, one's resilience strengthening, and for what one has appreciation deepening. Marcus Aurelius, like Stoics many, believed that experiencing discomfort voluntarily, the mind against times when discomfort upon us life might force, helps to fortify. This could mean to forego certain luxuries choosing, physical challenges enduring, or self-denial in decisions every day small, simply practicing. Straightforward. The logic is, if to hardship you are accustomed, adversity's sudden off-balance won't you throw your resilience muscles your training to speak so you can with a mind and calm composed face life's challenges ensuring. But why in a world that to offer us comfort constantly strives discomfort embrace? The answer lies in the very fabric of philosophy Stoic. At the edges of comfort zones growth often happens. By into less spaces comfortable voluntarily stepping, we not only are and emotional boundaries mental test, but also them expand. About oneself punishing this practice isn't, but about from seeing comfort as a necessity perspective, shifting to it as a luxury viewing that we can do without if we choose. In hardship voluntary practicing, gratitude you also cultivate. It's easy to take for granted comforts every day, but when occasionally without them you live, to appreciate them more profoundly you begin. This could be as simple as a meal skipping, which for the food you do have your appreciation can heighten, or to walk opting instead of drive, which for and health mobility your gratitude might deepen. Moreover, to the reality that with involuntarily every day many people live, hardship voluntary us connects. This connection can humility, empathy, and a deeper understanding of the human condition foster, more firmly in the reality of the world with others we share us anchoring. So, into our lives, how can we integrate this practice? Choose something manageable. Start small. Perhaps an hour earlier than usual, wake up. Your use of technology for a day limit, or the stairs over the elevator choose. In the scale of the hardship, the key isn't, but in the regularity and intention behind it. Each act of discomfort voluntary is a step towards fortitude, mental greater, and self-discipline. Number 5. Of control the dichotomy practice. This principle between what is and isn't within our control distinguishes to focus our energy solely on the former, urging us. This concept, seemingly simple to life's challenges, our approach profoundly can transform, anxiety reducing and a sense deeper of peace and resilience fostering. So according to Stoicism, what exactly within our control is? It's primarily our own reactions, actions, and judgments. Our will, our thoughts, our responses. These are the arenas where agency we have. Everything external, be it the weather, the actions of others, or events global, lies outside control direct our. This point in his meditations, Marcus Aurelius consistently emphasized, noting that by things outside our control becoming upset or disturbed is not just futile, but to our well-being, counterproductive. With this realization, practicing the dichotomy of control starts. While we can events external influence, we cannot them entirely control. This fact, the Stoic learns to accept, not passively, but as a truth liberating. By focusing on our own actions and of our attachment to outcomes letting go, Our tranquility and effectiveness we can maintain regardless of circumstances. This doesn't mean we become more detached, indifferent from the world. Instead, more constructively with it, we engage, our efforts channeling where they can actually a difference make. In life daily, applying the dichotomy of control means to any situation before reacting, asking ourselves, is this within my control? If it's not, to let it go and on move the Stoic practice is. This is easier said than done, of course. Mindfulness it requires, practice, and the reminder occasional to ourselves of what within our sphere of influence truly lies. Moreover, for how we set goals and outcomes, expect this practice has implications practical. While to achieve our goals we strive, to the realization of outcomes determined by myriad factors. External our happiness or self-worth tying is for frustration ourselves upsetting. Instead, in the pursuit itself to find satisfaction, in our adherence to our values, and in the effort we put forth, Stoicism teaches us. A life without challenges, Marcus Aurelius and philosophers Stoic other did not promise. Instead, for maintaining dignity and peace inner regardless of highs and lows, life's they offered a strategy. By this principle practicing, we not only our own lives enhance, but can also those around us influence through our example of and resilience, calmness in the of uncertainties inevitable life's face. Number 6. The victim never play. This concept involves a understanding profound of responsibility personal and the Stoic to self-mastery commitment. Rather than to a mentality victim succumbing, whereas a recipient passive of hardships life's one sees themselves, to seize control over our perceptions and reactions, Stoicism us encourages. Central to the Stoic belief that our peace of mind and happiness are determined more by our state internal than by events external, this empowerment is. The idea here isn't to deny the injustices or difficulties that one might face. Rather, it's about shifting the focus from what to us happens to how we to what happens respond. Aurelius believed that with a choice, every event external comes. How this define us will we let? By to play the victim refusing, the idea that at the mercy of circumstances external our well-being emotional is we reject. This is a realization liberating that to growth personal, greater and resilience the door opens. In this principle practicing, by observing our responses, habitual to situations challenging we start. Do we for factors external immediately look or others to blame? Do we our energy complaining about the situation rather than it addressing spend? These patterns changing isn't about our feelings suppressing, but about them more deeply understanding and our energies more constructively redirecting rather. Our and disappointment's pains acknowledging it involves, while also our capacity to move forward despite them recognizing. Moreover, to see every obstacle as an opportunity to practice virtue and our character strengthen this teaching Stoic us encourages. Fundamentally proactive and empowering, this perspective is. Potential feelings of helplessness into moments of choice it transforms, where we can our agency assert. A test of our to our values commitment each challenge becomes, and an opportunity to fortitude, perseverance and resilience demonstrate, qualities that the ideal Stoic define. By the victim never playing, the Stoic ideal of independence emotional we embody, and fortress inner of and equanimity calm we develop, from which we can with the world more fully and freely engage. This doesn't mean or indifferent emotionless becoming, but rather a state achieving whereby the ups and downs of life, our happiness isn't easily disrupted. In this way, we live not at the whim of our circumstances, but in with our principles' deepest alignment, regardless of what our way life throws. Number 7. Gratification delayed practice. This principle Marcus Aurelius championed, not as a disciplined personal just, but as to freedom greater and satisfaction a pathway. In the view Stoic, by gratification delaying one's impulses mastering isn't about pleasure denying, but about a form higher of fulfillment achieving that is aligned with one's values and goals long term. Delayed gratification, in the sense Stoic, involves a postponement strategic of desires immediate to rewards more significant and enduring gain. It's about making choices that might not offer satisfaction instant, but to and growth personal well-being lasting lead. This principle is particularly relevant in our modern culture, cult of instant everything. Where to wait for something better to hold off the ability is a skill and rare valuable. For Stoics like Aurelius, the practice of gratification delayed was also about over one's desires mastery maintaining. He believed that to pleasure's fleeting enslaved being could lead to a loss of freedom, in that to their and impulses' whims one captive becomes. Instead, by restraint exercising and our actions based on reason and foresight choosing, a life we cultivate not just of pleasures temporary, but of and contentment tranquility lasting. Implementing gratification delayed in life every day can with habits simple start. It might mean saving money rather than it impulsively spending, or over fast food a meal healthy choosing, or even to study or a skill practice to leisure activities immediate time dedicating instead. Each of these choices reinforces the Stoic practice of overease or pleasure, short-term benefits, long-term prioritizing. Moreover, are extensive the benefits of this practice. In psychology, research the view Stoic supports to better outcomes in career, education, health and relationships, personal gratification delayed linking. To handle stress, their goals reaching, and healthier, more lives fulfilling living, people who can gratification immediate postpone are often better. Number 8. Naysayers ignore. This concept goes beyond not listening to feedback negative merely. It's about a resilience mental cultivating that allows you to remain in your convictions steadfast and on your goals focused, even in the of doubt and skepticism from others face. For Stoics, the approval or disapproval of others is outside one's control, and therefore not something for validation, personal or guidance on to rely. Marcus Aurelius extensively about focusing only on actions and opinions within one's own control wrote that from within peace true comes emphasizing, and by judgments external cannot be shaken. About being dismissive of others, this indifferent Stoic isn't, but about a locus internal of control maintaining. It encourages us to filter out noise that our purposes higher does not serve or with our values aligns. In terms practical, naysayers ignoring is crucial in our world modern, where opinions are plentiful and criticism is often a click just away. It involves recognizing that while for growth feedback constructive can be valuable, from our path us should not deter criticism baseless. Vital this distinction is, to evaluate the source and intent of the we receive criticism, Stoicism teaches us. Is it informed? Is it well-meaning? Does it with our values core align? Moreover, this principle practicing means a philosophy personal building robust enough to pressures external withstand. It's about in your and actions decisions being confident, not out of arrogance, but out of the understanding deep of your own objectives and values. This is what Marcus Aurelius practiced daily, not as a ruler just, but as a human being for virtue striving in a world complex. The ability to naysayers ignore also our resilience emotional enhances, less reactive to opinions negative making us, and on our vision, long-term more focused. In a culture that the validation loop social often emphasizes, to step outside this cycle and to oneself stay true being able is both rare and powerful. In embracing the Stoic practice of naysayers ignoring, our space mental we are not only protecting, but also actively choosing where to invest our energy emotional. It's about not letting noise external us from our dialogue internal distract, the one that truly our lives shapes. Number 9, to emulate people wise find. This concept is rooted in the belief that much of our development, personal and learning comes from, and reflecting observing on the lives of those who have virtues mastered, we to develop, aspire. Emulating individuals' whys isn't about them copying, but about, from their example, learning to our own judgment and character enhance. Marcus Aurelius, despite an emperor being, often about his admiration for the qualities of others, wrote, both present and past. As a way to their strengths and virtues internalize, he saw the emulation of these figures. For him, and Stoics other, wisdom wasn't knowledge theoretical just, but to living well a guide practical, which through the actions of those who have applied these principles effectively could be best understood. In the context of Stoicism, whom to emulate choosing is about those recognizing who the Stoic virtues of wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance embody. These could be contemporaries, figures historical, or even from and literature stories characters who, such as integrity, ethical, resilience, and thinking rational, demonstrate qualities. The key is to look for individuals whose lives for facing challenges with, and determination, grace a roadmap provide. Applying this principle today involves a selection thoughtful of role models whose values with our aspirations align. It's about more than admiration just. It's about critically observing how these individuals their lives navigate, decisions make, and adversity handle. About this person's approach or mindset, what can I into my own life incorporate to improve my choices and conduct? This practice us to ask encourages ourselves. Moreover, helps bridge the gap between abstract concepts, philosophical and actions every day, emulating individuals' whys. It provides an example concrete of how principles Stoic can be lived out. This not only makes ideals these more accessible, but also more compelling, as the impact tangible of virtues Stoic in the lives of those we respect we see. In seeking out and emulating people wise, in a form dynamic of learning and self-improvement, we are engaging. It's an approach proactive to development personal, that to growth and excellence our commitment reinforces. By ourselves with the influence of individuals' virtuous surrounding, for our own and decisions behavior a standard high we set, toward becoming the individuals wise we to emulate, seek ourselves propelling. Now number 10, your day honestly review. This practice isn't about events recounting merely, but involves and reflective, profound examination of one's responses, actions, and thoughts throughout the day. It's about whether these behaviors aligned with one's values and virtues Stoic discerning, such as moderation, wisdom, justice, and courage. Crucial this process, introspective, is because as a loop feedback it serves that helps one of their and decisions actions more conscious become. For Stoics, to dwell on mistakes or to indulge in self-criticism, the purpose of this review daily isn't, but to, and adjust, observe. It's about from each day's experiences learning, and that knowledge using to refine oneself continuously. As a way to ensure that he was not only his as an emperor duties performing, but was also as a philosopher and human being growing, this technique Marcus Aurelius used. Into life, modern incorporating this practice incredibly can be beneficial. It encourages us to end each day with a moment of reflection, quiet. During this time, key questions several yourself you can ask. To challenges today, how did I respond? According to my principles, did I act? Better, what could I have done? Were there moments where control I lost, and why? To develop awareness self greater helps you reflecting on these questions, and in living a life more and deliberate intentional guides you. Moreover, of peace and completion at the end of each day, a sense this practice can foster. It allows one to address any thoughts lingering or stresses by them directly confronting, rather than into the next day them carrying. This can be especially powerful in our world fast-paced, where amid and distractions pressure daily of our goals deeper to lose track, it's easy. By your day honestly reviewing, in a form of self-accountability, you engage that is rigorous, yet gentle. It's about your strengths recognizing and areas for improvement acknowledging without judgment. As it to be both thee and teacher-student in your journey, life's constantly you learning from your own experiences, and to embody the virtues that Stoicism define: striving, resilience, and wisdom. This habit, Stoic, builds over time not only how you view your days, but also how you live your life. This practice can transform each day more closely with the ideals you cherish aligning. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the heart of Stoicism and the wisdom, timeless, of Marcus Aurelius.